Happy day and welcome to the Susan&Soulless Homestead.
Hi everyone.
Here's going to be a long tour of our homestead and what we're trying to do here. We'll try to stop and show you different aspects. These are lily transplants in the front of our yard. Irises. As once again, we don't plant grass, we only plant clover. It's coming in first year. This is a beautiful valerian plant that we have taken. Its roots are medicinal. Oh, if you just saw that shadow, that's the raven, and the crows flying overhead to tell us that we have to come feed them. More irises. We used to have sprinklers and sprayers up in these beds, but this year we switched everything over to drip lines. It saves an incredible amount of water and it brings it right to the root system. Just glad to know you's coming in. More irises.
We like to call them glad to know yous.
You guys know. This is a beautiful red tree. I don't really know what it is, but it has incredible flowers right now. Pollinators come for that. That's a weeping willow tree that we caught our first swarm in. There's another batch of irises. We got to go out that way so I can come around so I'm not in the video. Not that I don't want to be holding the video, but this is the lowest point. And we filled it in all with clover. There's a river birch tree. Privacy is very important to us. We've invested a lot in green giants and different types of cedar varieties. And here is the rain capture. We're only capturing about half of our roof right now. And quickly, let me just run back here and show you. In the next week or two, we're going to get the front of the house, which you can see how much wasted water is happening. It's actually washing out the bricks and the sand. But we're going to get another underground 3-inch pipe connected to that and be collecting all our rainwater every day, or every rain. You can see the Aquaponics center coming into view. Green giant privacy bushes. I'm going to slow down before these green giants. These were 20 little trees from Costco. When you plant them for privacy, leave a few space so you can maintenance them, so the sun can get in, so air can get in, and prevent that. As you can see, we've lined our whole property with it. And now, this is the rainwater pond where we have the side and the top hooked up to. And a small pump circulating, oxygenating the water. Right now we'll show you in the aquaponics we had a little algae bloom. So we're filling it up with water and it slowly gravity feeds down. We've got some butterfly bushes, some calla lilies, some maximilians, more calla lilies, different types. And this is the wall of tomatoes and our largest fruit trees. Wall of cucumbers, and our largest fruit trees. We also have squash. She looks a little sad. Maybe it needs a little water. We haven't put the drip line in yet. And here's some celery that just took over from last year. We let grow. There's another pollinator bush. The greenhouse, a quick tour, the aquaponics center, Japanese maple, and if you can see the sea, clover. Honeybees are already in there foraging in the morning. looks a little messy right now, but this is a little U of different pollinator plants we'll show you in the future. And some lilacs, and we're going to make a natural swing out of these two small trees. I think that's an alder and some pussy willows, which in the center we planted them, and we're going to make a little waterfall. This is another low spot. In the wintertime it always gets icy and all the rainwater, so we're going to try to capture that and put another little small pond here that'll be connected to the rain pond, which is gravity fed down. Here's a wonderful batch of hairy buttercup.
Hairy buttercup.
And there's some yellow prairie clover. There's a little elderberry, which we have these two little plants 3 or 4 years ago, and we've just been transplanting them all over the yard. More of our green giants, which we just watered with the pool water because we had a little algae bloom. We'll show you that. We showed you in the past. There's the U. We sit and watch our pollinators, see what's growing on. We have a little fire pit, which we'll be doing some sort of triangle teepee sacred moon station in the future. And as you can see, there's our greenhouse, there's the aquaponics. A little bit of a mess right now. We're working on it. This is the tank where everything gravity feeds to. 300 gallons buried in the ground. There's a sump pump, as you can see. That's circulating from the rain pond, from the aquaponics center, and the nebula pond, and then pumped back to the greenhouse. You can see all the clover fixing the nitrates, turning into usable nitrogen and pollinating and giving food to the bees. I'm going to take a little walk behind the U to show you. Once again, we've just been starting to plant elderberry. This is going to be a whole line of elderberry plants. I'm going to show you this before we clean everything out. So there'll be a wall of elderberry behind here, behind the U. We'll show you another video that these will be covered. That's lilies surrounded in beautiful different colored yellow lilies. The irises came up first. Tulips came up. And another U shot. In the future, that's going to be a bee house, chi house. It needs a little work, but there's going to be an observation hive and a wonderful spot to meditate. Here is the aquaponics center again. Let's show you the wall of grapes, which, as you could see, we just unwrapped recently, but now the leaves are turning outside and our grapes are growing. And those are the most delicious ones. They're ripe, you can eat them. There's a red variety. We have our pool heater. We reinstalled last year, a new one. We wrapped it. Well, the door's a little stuck. That's good enough, pretty lady. Just saying that we reduced that by 50% consumption by packing it with compost. There's our compost pile. Now we're coming upon the nebula pond snail filter and the chicken coop. This was a bunch of different roses that replanted. This will be a huge rose heart in the future. Oh, look at that. Happy day. There's a yellow one, there's red ones, there's crimson ones. I even think there's a blue one. Nebula pond is growing great, though, as you can see, the groundhogs and our raccoons have been trying to get in, but we boarded every bottom with 2x6s and deer fence so that the critters can maybe be able to eat the stuff that hangs on the outside. They can't eat the good stuff on the inside. Our duckweed is coming in very strong. Ceiling of tomatoes, as you can see. And now that the kale and other lettuces are growing outside, we plucked them off and made a little drop down door here for some spare parts. And then we could throw it in for the chickens who are out eating bugs right now. Oh, nope. There's one broody lady. Look at her. We have to shut the door because she just sits on the eggs. She's clucking in opposition. But she needs a little fresh air. She got chicken stank on. It's just a little center here that we made with, once again, these are Leland cypresses. They were already here, but we just organic them, put a drip line in, no more sprayers, and now they're growing incredible. This actually is a little corner that Susan and I do the waltz dance sometimes. She poise here. Now we can keep this closed. We don't have to worry about ventilation. We're able to shut it off now that it's open. There's a good view of the aquaponics. We have solar panels you can see off in the distance. There's a little issue with one of the inverters, but we're upgrading the whole entire system. We should have over 44 kilowatts of battery storage and energy storage on the roof. We're even looking in if we can put a wind turbine on the property.
And this is a path where we're going backwards today, but we usually start our walk the other way. And last year we planted a bunch of shade mix and sunflowers, and there are some sunnier spots than here. And we have a few things growing on here. We learned that maybe we planted too many seeds together on some of the shade mix, so they're a little smaller and bunchier. But we love them anyway, and we're learning as we grow. Here we have the pyramid and sage and yarrow and basil, and it's just a little sacred spot. It's somewhere to come and meditate and be grateful.
And it's just started to grow. We're just showing this before we do a major cleanup and everything. There's white strawberries, prairie clover,
there's more
shade
strawberries,
mix.
love.
And either on both sides, there should be all these flowers. I'm not sure what this is, but it's prolific shade mix. We'll show you an updated version. There's more. And this is usually the start of our walk. But since we're giving the grand tour,
This patch will be filled with holy basil. Our first year,
and sunflowers.
And sunflowers, but the first year we moved in, I put a couple of plants and the whole thing filled up by the summer. Now this year, this one we started inside. This is a holy basil. It smells like mint bubble gum, right, love?
Definitely.
And then you might be able to see these I don't want to walk over there too close. These teeny tiny ones coming up. All of those are going to grow, and it will be prolific with holy basil. And as it walks through, it's a beautiful fragrance.
Some pansies we got for free. Give you a little tidbit of the Isis bed where we use some rocks to make that. And then these will be an arch of maples. There's the other feeding station, which we sit and have our morning matcha tea with the cats, which we'll do a much longer catio version. And as you can see, the sea of clover. Let's give a little shot over there. Honeybees are all over it. Different angle of the aquaponics. These used to be other feeding stations, but since we're doing videos now, and very popular and interesting ones about the birds and our relationship with the ravens, we've set up only one with the camera over here and a watering station. Here's our compost, which we just turned and watered from the backwash from the pond. And it was full of the most vigorous, healthy earthworms. These sprayers backwash from the sediment filter, and they water our compost, which gives us all sorts of freebies. Should have picked it, but this Romanesco lettuce, there's some crimson and clover, there's some beans, there's some squash. I think that might be a romaine. Oh, look, some more sunflowers. And some good old compost. You can hear in the background the crows calling us saying, hey, you didn't fill the feeding station. Ran out of worms.
Well, we did.
We did already. There's some more sage. This is a whole little patch. One of the advantages of using compost, when you retransplant something, look at sunflowers, tomatoes,
There's a squash
lettuce.
here.
So we pick and transplant what we need, but as you can see, we transplanted these bushes and then we filled it with compost, and now we have all these extras. From here on in, just the chickens get to forage, and we try to keep it as natural as possible. I know there's a little storage area in the back that is not as clean as one would like, but we're working on it. And there was a tornado that came through, knocked down a bunch of trees and a bunch of old. Instead of throwing them out or burning them or compost them, we use them to line our trails. And here's the cover crop green mix right outside the chicken coop, so chickens get a daily organic salad. And this is just more of the trails, which we're working on slowly but surely. The Wayne Main Trail, there was ATVs and stuff going through here, so we just made it a main trail for the large John Deere if we have to move products around. Chickens made a mess of this trail and we haven't finished mulching it, but here's our new package of bees. Give you a little close-up. And as you can see, kind of scooched over, so we got to go in there. We're going to have an updated video, but they're humming along rather nicely. That's just an extra hive that we have a nuke box in case they swarm. Our neighbor had a bunch of trees going down, so he gave us the leftovers. We've been drying it out, and we're going to use it for firewood.
And to inoculate it to grow mushrooms on.
Yes. This will be another sacred triangle spot, which there's a bunch of garbage was piled on, and we cleaned it up. And here's the heart chakra, which we've spoken about many a time.
Another good place to poi and meditate.
And be grateful with compassion. And what we did is lined it with clover, shaped it like a heart, and hopefully the gods, lights in the sky, the heavens will see our sacred spot, an ode to the good energies and heart chakras. We have yet to finish the line in this, but as you can see, maybe don't burn or chop down a dead tree. line your trails with it. It's a little, we'll keep the storage rock quarry area out of it. And like I say, we're in the process of cleaning it. And here's our other sacred spot, which we record the deers and the other animals that border the nature preserve behind us. But the hugging tree, embrace station. Go up each morning and hold each other and be grateful for life. While the natural bird bath gets refilled and birds come in here, you can see somebody was just splashing around in there and drinking. We had a lot of deers in the area coming, eating our property and getting in, and hunters even coming, so we boarded the whole entire thing with stockade fence along our property line or just in it. And now our animals stay in. Our chickens can free range over an acre of property untouched. The bees have it. No one's going to walk on them and disturb them. And here's our other package of Carolina and Italian mix. They're doing rather well. It's kind of an interesting spot to stay, because if you're right against the fence, they come and fly right over your head and below you. You can smell the propolis, and they seem to be doing very well. Some more of our trails. Some wood we're going to make some natural art and mushroom growing stations with. And as everyone sees, the ode to the Sasquatch and the meditation hold your hands sit bench. One thing we've spoke about in the other video is also when you find an interesting rock or something, lay it on the stump if it has an interesting pattern, just as a little thank you and a gratitude to nature that it's beautiful in its own right, and its patterns and its cycles, like little gifts. Hey, look, found this is cool, thank you. Make little structures that you can sit and the birds can land on. You can appreciate. And in the future, we're going to buy inoculation plugs and inoculate all of these stumps. Interesting looks with mushrooms. And they're already growing. Well, I guess that's it for now. This is a longer tour. We'll give more tours as things blossom and we clean up.
Oh, things are going to be blossoming.
Oh yes, please definitely like and subscribe to support our future endeavors and videos, and we'll keep you updated. Have a wonderful day.